Nothing I ate in this video cost above $10. In fact, most of them are below $5. Hi, I'm Steve from the Fat Life Project and I'm your Chinatown food tour guide for today. Chinatown is a bustling neighborhood in Singapore that is famous for its rich culture and heritage. It is also a must-visit destination, especially if you're a foodie, as it is home to some of the best cheap eats in town. In fact, there are 10 Michelin bib gourmand eats in Chinatown, Singapore, and today I'm going to show you all 10. So come! Let's go! And yes, anyone could have googled the Michelin Bib Gourmand Singapore to find this list of 10 stalls. But did you know that these 10 stalls are located at just 3 food complexes across Chinatown? In fact, one of them contains 6 of the 10 Michelin rated stalls on the list. Did you also know that almost none of them are open 7 days a week? Also, did you know that none of them take credit cards? Trust me, I tried. These are just some of the things that I'll be covering in this video, in addition to trying out the dishes themselves so that you know what to expect. Basically, by the end of this video, you will be navigating through Chinatown, Singapore, Michelin style like a seasoned pro. As I mentioned earlier, you basically need to hit up 3 food courts to be able to try all of the 10 food spots on this list. Well, I would recommend you hit up Amoy Street Food Centre first, as it contains 6 of the places of that list. Singapore has one of the best public transportation networks in the world, and there are several ways to get to the Amoy Street Food Centre. I personally took the Thomson East Coast line from Orchard Station, which is likely the area where most of the travellers watching this will be staying. You ride along this line from Orchard for 4 stops and get off at Maxwell Station. The Amoy Street Food Centre is located at 6 Maxwell Road, approximately 600 meters from Maxwell Station. There are also other train routes, and you can of course also catch a cab, which is why I've included the Google pin in my description box so that you can plan ahead. Our first stop is Yuan famous Lor Mee, located on the 2nd level of Amoy Street Food Centre for 2 reasons. 1. Lor Mee is one of my favorite childhood dishes, and 2. This stall is known as the worst rated Lor Mee stall in Singapore. I am not kidding. Google Yuan Lor Mee and you will find that it only rates 1.8 stars on Google with several write-ups on it. And I was like, how bad can it be? After all, this stall has been operating since 1984. I paid $5 for a bowl of their Lor Mee and it came with all the expected hallmarks: pieces of pork belly, fried fish, and a half-boiled egg. And honestly, I really enjoyed the flavors of the signature thick gravy. The thick noodles had a decent bite to it, and while I wouldn't say this is the best bowl of Lor Mee I've ever had, it wasn't bad at all, and in my opinion, not deserving of its low Google rating. By the way, Yuan Lor Mee is open 7:30 AM to 2:30 PM on Saturdays to Wednesdays. Speaking of the things that you can find on Google, I also found out that the current operator of the following stall, Gilbert, was voted the most handsome hawker in Singapore and is also known as the hawker hunk. Gilbert took over the business from his father Arthur, who opened up the store way back in 1958. They are located at stall 0114 and are open from 7 AM to 3 PM on Wednesdays to Sundays. The shop's flagship are the handmade fish balls. I got the dried noodles for $4.50 and it was about as authentic as you can get. My only complaint was that the serving size was a bit small. But in the context of this video, this actually worked out to my advantage, as we're still at the beginning of this food tour. But let's take a break from noodles for a second to try out one of my favorite Singapore street eats, curry puffs. These ones have been a Michelin favorite since 2016. J2 Curry Puffs is located at stall 0121 and sells these Singapore street eat staple for just $1.80 each. And as a Malaysian, I can honestly say I have extensive experience eating curry puffs, and as such, my expectations were sky high. First off, the serving size was very decent for $1.80. Look at how flaky the crust is. The puffs also came out piping hot. I also loved that the crust was also just thin enough that the ratio of filling to crust was still superbly high. I mean, just look at the curry potato filling. This was a solid 10 out of 10 for me, and so far the best thing I've had. Hot tip, they are only open Mondays to Fridays from 8 AM to 3 PM, so you're gonna have to head to Amoy Street Food Centre on a weekday if you want to catch this one. And while you're there, you might as well try out this next Michelin stall. My grandmother used to make these from scratch, and honestly, eating this always reminds me of home. Kee Bak Chang have been operating since 1948. They have appeared in numerous publications and was even featured on CNN Travel. A testament to their popularity was the fact that there were only 2 flavors left when I got there. I got the deluxe with chestnut, pork, salted egg yolk, and mushroom for $5.50. And I'm telling you, I immediately get the hype. Much like the curry puffs, I have a master's in eating bak chang thanks to my grandmother, and can honestly say that this was easily one of the best bak changs I've had. Second only to my grandmother's, of course. course. But you cannot leave Amoy Street Food Centre until you've tried this bowl of noodles, especially if you're a fan of pho. Hoki beef noodles located at stall 0142 have been serving up noodles for over 60 years. This cost $6 and I honestly wasn't expecting much, but don't be deceived by the simple bowl of noodles. The beef bone broth was super flavorful and hot enough to cook the layers of thinly sliced beef on the top. I can definitely see myself craving this on rainy days. But it's time to walk off some of that food. We're taking a short walk from Amoy Street Food Centre to Chinatown Complex Market and Food Centre. It is a 6 minutes walk and I have of course included the Google Map location in my description box so that you can easily map your way to our second destination. Chinatown Complex is the largest hawker centre in Singapore. It is home to over 260 stalls. Today we're here to check out 3 of those stalls that have made it onto the Michelin Bib Gourmand list. And it won't be too hard for you to find this first one, as you will immediately spot the queue lining up for the Singaporean Kopitiam, which means coffee shop. The 1950s coffee located at store 02048 serves up all your Kopitiam favorites, and the best part was that nothing was priced above $2. If you've never had a traditional Singapore breakfast before, well, let me walk you through everything I got. You have to start off with some half-boiled eggs and don't forget to add in some white pepper and soy sauce. The dish that you would almost instinctively get to go with it is kaya and butter toast, which is one of my favorite Kopitiam breakfast eats. The sweetness of the kaya, the butter and the crunchy toast all in one bite is a winner, and I highly recommend you finish off with some kopi o peng, otherwise known as an iced black coffee. It's my personal favorite. And while I was getting the Kopitiam order, my sister who came along went to order food from the next 2 Michelin rated stalls. Teamwork! Her first stop was Chin Handmade Popiah at stall 02112. Popiah is another essential Singapore street food. It is basically a healthier spring roll, crammed full of vegetables, prawn, garlic and basically whatever you want to put in there. Honestly, as a kid, this was not one of my favorite dishes, but I definitely learned to love it as I grew up. It provides a lighter alternative to the heavier dishes that are typical of street food. The popiah will be handmade right in front of you, so you can be assured of its freshness. I really enjoyed this. Satay is perhaps one of the most well-known Singaporean street eats, and if you by any chance have never had satay before, well, there's no better place to start than this Michelin rated stall. It basically consists of marinated chicken or beef barbecued over a coal fire, giving it that signature burnt and juicy flavors. 168 CMY Satay, named after its store location at Chinatown Complex aka 02168, and also after the name of the supplier, Chun Yuan, the biggest satay supplier in Singapore. The satay sticks cost 70 cents each with a minimum order of 10. I got the chicken ones and my thoughts were, while the flavors were most definitely on point, I have to say I was expecting them to be juicier. But palates are subjective and I definitely still think you should try it. It's time to head on over to our next location, People's Park Complex Food Centre. Located at 32 New Market Road, it is an approximately 4-minute walk from the Chinatown Complex. Honestly, the place looked like an abandoned building, but you will almost immediately spot the long queue for this unassuming chicken rice stall that has been on the Michelin Bib Gourmand list since 2016. They sell a wide array of barbecued meats from pork to roasted duck. But as I was at the People's Park Hainanese chicken, I decided to get the chicken. The single servings of the roast and plain chicken rice cost just $3.50 each. And as someone who has had many a chicken rice in my life, I can honestly say that this is truly deserving of their multiple Michelin Bib Gourmand awards. For the price, you are getting an incredibly well marinated chicken and the rice was so authentic. Highly recommend this one. Now, if you've been doing your math, you will realize that I've only covered 9 spots. That's because I was not able to make it to a noodle story at the Amoy Street Food Centre. They are open from 11 AM to 3 PM and then again from 4 to 8 PM on all days apart from Sunday. I actually went on a Monday morning before 11 and couldn't wait till then as I had a flight to catch. I am so devastated. However, I will drop by Singapore again to try this out, and when I do, I will attach the short or maybe even a full video review right here. If you're not from Singapore and watching this has made you want to go to Singapore, well then there are 6 things you absolutely need to know before planning your travel, and I have included a video discussing those very 6 things at the end of this video as well as in my description box. If you want to binge on more Singapore content, don't forget to check out my Singapore playlist. Want me to review a venue? Well, let me know in the comment section. I also upload food and travel content on a weekly basis, so be sure to also subscribe and turn on that bell notification so that we can go on weekly fat adventures together. If you got to this point of the video, I want to thank you so much for your support and hope that you have a great day ahead or that you've already had a good day. As always, I will see you soon in the next video.